4. Pow, pow, pow. All right, we rolling? Live from the wasteland. This is Freedom Phil, and what's top today? It's like the fear that people see in businesses, like the example of Airwave TV, and as the clientele is dying off, other brands are unwilling to make the adjustment. Like I see beer companies, I see restaurants, I see all of them, and they're not willing to go back to what frankly worked, what really sold way back in the day. Where am I going with this? This is Freedom Phil. Like, subscribe. Let's get into it. Always turn up the video speed. And why do I say that? Because when I upload this, watch it at least 1.75. You know? That's why the channel is called Turn Up the Video Speed. Like, subscribe. Let's get into it. It's like this. I remember when beer commercials had hot women on them and good times. I remember when car commercials, that's all they did. They wanted to show you either for the women how safe this SUV was, or how fun the sports car pickup truck was, or how durable that pickup truck was. They showed you good times. Okay? The same thing with beer commercials, cigarette commercials. Oh yeah, you all don't remember cigarette commercials. Cigarettes were definitely selling you sex and good times. And you go back and watch the commercials from the late 90s, early 2000s, before this, and a lot of people don't like hearing this term, this woke kind of outlook took over. Like, I don't care how much you try to lie to people. Nobody thought Lizzo was good looking. Even Lizzo didn't think that. When she could start losing weight, I don't know, she started taking the Wegovy or got the lap band surgery, she started losing weight. Maybe she saw some of those other fat activists dropping dead and was like, I don't want to go yet. You know? The loud, rainbow-colored hair. And don't get me wrong, there is some cool things, cool hair colors you could do. Don't get me wrong. But loud, toxic colored, like those high vis colors in animals, and how you see a poisonous frog or an insect or something, it's warning everybody we're fucking toxic. So why would you adopt that? Why would you adopt that as your strategy for your future company? And the answer is because, one, you got a bunch of people all over business that if you don't do what they say, they'll try to wreck you. It'll be like protests and all this. But the other thing is, there's a lot of these people that have slowly taken over through HR and then slowly installing their own people that think the average consumer is too dumb to ever stop buying. Like this is a cornered market. Like there isn't a dozen and a half beer options, even on the domestic options. Like Budweiser was the king of beers for a long time. Let's be honest. But that's because of their infrastructure and what was arguably a closed market. When we started getting into the craft beer world, the world started changing real fucking quick. There was a lot more options for people. And some people might have been like, I'd rather deal with a beer company that isn't fucking criminal, But it really comes down to your meat and potatoes consumer just wants the good product they enjoy at a good price, and they don't want your wokey agenda shoved in their face. I'm sorry, but yes, men like seeing fit, beautiful women. This might scare a lot of people, but yes, the reason most guys go to work is for sex. They have a family, they have kids, but really the reason you got that pickup truck or that car or that something that cost way more than was realistically feasible is to get laid. I know, you can't render down the economy to that. Oh, but you can. Who would buy jewelry if not for the fact that beautiful women expect it, and even ugly women expect it? Who would do all this shit, keeping all this crap going? Like, you look at an individual, when they stop giving a damn, whether, like, if they get laid, cool. If they don't give a fuck. When they get to that Zen outlook where they're just like, yeah, I'm cool. I don't need that shit. Look at how little they can exist off of. And at that point, it's just about what makes me happy today. What requires less nagging and bitching and whatnot. And you'll realize that person does not have to consume a ton of resources. Now, most people never make it to that level. Those people are good little consumers. But you can't take away the basic fundamentals of what sells. We don't have society because people were just good-hearted people. At some point, there was a motivation. When you're a young man, it's pussy. Why are you getting that degree? Do you really want to get that degree? Do you, like, some people are really talented and they really want to invent the next great thing. That's probably less than 1% of the people out there. Most people go to college to make money. And why do you need so much money? Women. And what do you want to see in women? Not Lizzo. Not some rainbow-colored activist. Now, if you understand the fundamentals of what built society, which I'm sorry, I get, there's LGBT, but let's be honest, you guys are what percentage of the population? And the rest of us are what percentage of the population? It seems like the larger percentage are the ones you're really trying to cater to. Fun, sexy. Like, if you're going to sell beer, whatever, food, like, and here's another thing. When you make an advertisement, I don't want an infomercial, and I don't want to be guilted into feeling like some sort of, charity or some other nonsense. I don't want to be guilted. Like, we're trying to do this thing. Then just go do it. If you're really trying to help on that charity, put it as a side thing on the box and get back to selling me a good fucking 12-pack of beer or, whatever food. Don't try to guilt me into donating, especially when a lot of charities are basically just ways that companies can funnel money from, like, they can basically have most of the charity be administration. Translation, you're just hiring your besties. So a bunch of Karen wine moms can throw parties with your money. No. I don't want to hear that shit. Here's what I want to see. I want to see good product, good price, and I want to see attractive people having good times. I know, I'm a knuckle-dragging caveman. But as you've slowly realized that you're not allowed to show good-looking people having good times, like having classical fun, like, hey, man, maybe good people screwing. You don't have to be screwed, but you get my point. The illusion, the atmosphere is there. As you slowly take that away, what do you see in society? You remember when the bar scene was a scene and people looked forward to going to it? Not so much anymore. Do you remember when the gym was the replacement for the bar scene and then they made the fucking gym toxic? And now people are like, man, I just want to do my lifts and not have to deal with some chick, recording me and acting like I'm a weirdo because she just felt a certain way. You've basically taken all the fun out of societal interactions. And you're left with this dry, boring world. This dry, boring world full of products. And now, as the legacy generation, the heritage consumer, you've got so many people that are going to go buy, let's just say Budweiser or whatever. As those people get older, and a lot of them will stick around, and some of them die off and whatnot, just like with airwave TV. The reason that airwave TV is going the way of the dodo is because you're not making shit that people really want to watch anymore. It's the same slop over and over again with kind of a wokey agenda. As the people that would have normally consumed your product don't feel as enticed as they used to, well, you could bet the next generation looks at it and goes, why the fuck would I buy that? That's like my dad's product and it sucks. If your dad's product was still hot, sexy, and made everybody wanted to do, be like, yeah, man, this is the place to be, you'd still have new customers. And I don't know. It's always the assumption that your heritage customers will never leave. Biggest fucking mistake. In a world full of choices, just like, and I remember back in the day when people were solid, one of the big three, and then Toyota came in, so some people were Toyota guys. They were solid, like, I'm a Chevy man, I'm a Ford man, Mopar, like, I remember that era. That era is fucking gone now. Most people are just looking at it as like, okay, what's the reliability? They're more sensible. What's the reliability? What's the price? What's it get to the gallon? Brand loyalty died with shitification and the fact that people don't like, it's just, the world isn't as fun anymore. If you want people to buy your products. It's got to be fun. It's got to be sexy. And when you have that, people are going to be like, yeah, look at that. Look what that guy has. But you're not going to get that with this new slap him in the face with some nonsense. Like, I'm sorry, like, it's an old reference now, but the Dylan Mulvaney thing was a good example of that. The Gillette with the razors was another good example of that. And it seems like maybe all the poison hasn't been fired out of these companies. What do you mean fired out? Where you basically hired some HR manager chick, and I guess you must have banged her or something, and that way she always has that to hang over your head. And I think that's a lot of the reason. That was the infiltration technique. You just fuck your way to the key people, and then down the road. Remember Me Too? That was when the Ben Grissett battle chant witches came out there, and they're like, yeah, we have power over you. Don't you dare try to change what we're doing. That's when they announced their real intentions. I guess a lot of these major companies just haven't managed to fire out the poison. But, who knows? Maybe the inevitable thing is that we need a good collapse. We just need a good full-on collapse of a lot of companies. So people will wake up and go, I miss when, the outlook was like sexy, beautiful, fun. Or we can finally be honest with it. Because when I go back and watch older TV shows from like the late 80s, 90s, and the early 2000s, and they just seem like funner shows, and they have jokes that you couldn't make today, and you're like, wow. Like, good example, go watch Married with Children. It's fucking hilarious. When I see advertisements that seem like they were trying to make you laugh and sell a product, and then I look at the shit we have today, and it's all about, we care. We care about something. I don't fucking care if you care. I care if it's hot and fun. Who are these? And maybe that's the New Age church, the non-church church of like, no, we care about these causes. No, they don't. And it's like, it's a turnoff. And by the way, don't believe me. Ask women if they are turned on by leftist men. And, most of them, if they're not lying, they'll be like, no, your average leftist man that pretends to care and is sensitive, that's a fucking turnoff. So why the fuck would you try to turn everything in society into a pussified leftist man? Just saying, you want to make money? Fun, hot, and sexy. It's reliable products that people like buying that are fun, hot, and sexy. Cars, clothes, beer, restaurant experiences. Give people what they want, and you'll make money. Try to force them into your agenda, and you will fail. This is Freedom Phil. Like and subscribe. Take it easy.